All right, so I'm really excited this morning to introduce you to Carter and Alyssa Barrow. They are about to leave the United States, leave their home and their families and everything behind for 11 months to go to Bosnia. And I want you to hear about them and why they're going. So Carter and Alyssa, thank you for sitting down and talking. And want to just get to know you guys a little bit. I know that some of the folks in the church have met you and know you, but a lot of the people are not going to have any idea who you are. But I want them to, because I want them praying for you on this journey. So just a little bit about you guys. I mean, tell me just a little bit about yourselves.
Well, honestly, we've been born and raised here in Columbus. We have spent all 26 years of our life here. We, graduated from the school right there up on the hill. We've, went to Columbus State. We've served in different churches here in the community, 5 or 6 different ones. We've really felt God calling on our lives to do something more than just, be your regular churchgoer. And so God's called us to go serve overseas, and so that's our next step in life. Is we are about to go launch a high school ministry over in Eastern Europe, and so we are excited about that. And this is kind of where this precipice of our life has come to. So
yeah,
this is it.
Well, so now just back up just about your life just a little bit. So now, how long have you guys been married?
We actually got married a year and a half ago.
All right.
We have spent.
Did you go on a honeymoon, or is this going to be the?
We went on a honeymoon.
Okay,
we
all
went
right.
out to Texas. So
all right. So Bosnia is not going to be the honeymoon. All right. Well, so you said you served in some churches, and but let me ask you. I mean, how do you get to this point where you're going to go to Bosnia for a year? You're going to leave everything behind, everything you know, and go to another country. What gets you to that place?
Well, honestly, what gets us to this place is honestly God.
Yeah.
We enjoy, I've always, for the last several years, I felt God calling me to a local church, and I really thought that's where I was going to be till, the day I died, kind of one of those people that.
And you served as like a youth minister.
I've been youth minister, family minister, graphics designer. I've worked with children, youth, all the way up to, going on senior adult trips. I mean, it's been pretty much just anything that a church has asked me to do, I've been like, okay, I'll jump on board for it. And so, I really just kind of felt like that was God's calling on my life. And several months ago, we were contacted by an organization, an international missions organization, and they started telling us about how they were having a lot of success with college students, reaching them with the gospel. But their problem was they just didn't have enough time to go from meeting them to having, the initial spiritual conversations to having gospel conversations to then seeing them saved, then discipling them to go back out. And so, we asked them, okay, well, what are you going to do about that? And so they told us, we really feel like what's next for the ministry in Bosnia is for people to come in and start the high school ministry. And we're like, yeah, y'all need to do that.
Yeah.
Y'all should start a high school ministry. And so kind of to shorten up that portion of the story, they said, we really feel like God's calling y'all to do this. And we were like, well, they didn't know that was an option, so we're going to need to pray on this. And after a lot of prayer and consideration, God made it blatantly obvious that this was our next step and that we're to go teach English overseas and win people to the Lord for Him. So,
awesome. And targeting high school students.
Targeting high school students.
Cool.
But also what led us there, because Bosnia seemed so just out of the blue. I actually got to spend 2 summers through this international missions organization doing summer projects over there, spending my summers working with the college ministry that he was referencing. So it's really not that random.
Right.
It's something that I just fell in love with the people group, fell in love with the whole culture and community. And so I have always actually been praying for the opportunity to go back and serve. I never thought it would be when I was married to a local church guy, but the Lord has a funny way of doing things.
Cool. Well, he was doing all the talking. I was wondering if you wanted to go or not. So, good. Awesome. So listen, just a little bit for everybody, because I know you were telling me, and I had to go look it up too. But a lot of people think Bosnia is in Africa, maybe, but no, it's in Eastern Europe. Tell us just quick about the country, because it's not like here, right? It's different. So tell us a little bit about it.
I guess I'll take that one because I am more of the geography, history guy. I know.
Exactly.
It happens. I hope I don't bore you with this, but it used to be part of Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
Yugoslavia obviously disbanded in the late 80s. And so Bosnia was actually kind of caught in the crosshairs of all the Yugoslav wars that went on. And so it's a very fractured and broken nation.
So you got like a few different people groups.
You've got three
Gotcha.
core people groups: the Croats, the Bosniaks, and the Serbs, and they really just don't have anything to do with each other. I mean, to say hate is kind of a passive term for some of them, but they culturally identify with a religion, and so they aren't really active in anything, and so they really just don't have any hope in Jesus or anything else. In fact, we'll be serving in Sarajevo that's 97% Muslim. So
that was you said identifying with a religious group, and I think a lot of people might be surprised to find out that you get Muslim country in Eastern Europe, and so you'll be in that context. Sir, I mean, there's you were telling me something about the number of mosques versus the number of Christians, right?
Yeah, so right now there are only around 700 believers in the entire country of Bosnia. So you can imagine in this main city it's a lot less than that. And so less than 0.01% of the population is a believer. Most of them have never even had an opportunity to actually know someone who knows Jesus. Yeah. And that blows my mind. And they actually have more mosques than they do Christians in the entire country. And to tell you how real it is that the call to prayer 5 times a day, it rings throughout the entire city. And just a constant reminder that, Islam is what dominates that city, but hoping to see that change.
Yeah, absolutely. So talking about going to a different context, that's going to be huge. Yeah. So tell me, what organization are you going with? What's the group that you're going with?
Yeah, we are going with Crew. Most people know it as Campus Crusade for Christ. That's what it used to be before the name changed. So.
Yeah, cool. And so how do you leave for 11 months? I mean, you guys have quit jobs, right? I mean, you're renting your house. I mean, how are you getting there?
Through the kindness of other people who are following God's call to give to a ministry.
You need partners, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's really what it boils down to is we are truly looking for people to step out and answer God's call on our lives, really, and what God's calling them to do to help us get there. We don't get to go until we reach 100% of the required funds, and so we are closing in on that number, and it's exciting to see God, using people and seeing God bless their lives through that, and just allowing them to follow Him and bless them.
So you're telling me you're getting really close, right?
We're about as close as you can get.
All right.
Here, it's like the kid with the cotton candy who sniffs it because mom says he can't have it yet. So it's good.
Yeah, awesome. I tell you, and I've told you guys this before, but I love people who say yes to Jesus. God calls us to all sorts of things in life, and I love it, especially when you get to see God doesn't always call us to normal stuff. And so for most people, what you guys are doing just is going to seem so extreme, and to leave your jobs, to rent your house and to leave for a year and to go and do this. And so I just want to say thank you for saying yes. And, I hope that through this, you see more support come. And let me ask you, I know you can use financial support. What else for us as a church? I mean, what can we be doing for you during this time that you're gone?
I think one of the things I'd like to just kind of add off of what you just said, you said that it seems extreme for us to say yes and go overseas, but in reality, it's no different than like what you're doing or what anybody else does who goes into the secular world and answers that call from God. Our vocation just looks different from other people's because literally vocation just means calling. Yeah. And so, there are people who are called to be businessmen and they go into the secular world and they have every opportunity to share the gospel just like we do to a lost and dying people. And so, I want to encourage people to answer that call, yes, just by going to work and living a life for Christ. But, to answer the other question that you actually asked,
right.
We need prayer partners. Bosnia is the definition of where Jesus says the harvest is white and it's ready for the picking, but the workers are few. There our 10 people we're joining on staff, and they're all going to be working hard, and they're all going to be working diligently, but we do need as much prayer support as possible back home. So that we want to highly encourage people to do that. And we want to, you know, if they want to find out what's going on, they can give us their email or give you their email, and we can shoot them a way for them to stay in touch and find out what awesome things God's doing in Bosnia.
Awesome. Well, once again, thank you guys for saying yes. I appreciate you sitting down, and so that everybody gets a chance to meet you, at least for these few moments. And so we're going to be praying for you and excited about what God's leading you to do. So I know we'll look forward to hearing about this journey that the Barrows are going on, and so I want to thank you for taking the time to meet them now.